Known to many as the lead steward of the McDowell-Sonoran Conservancy, Chet Andrews championed the McDowell-Sonoran Preserve before it even seemed a possibility. His contributions to making Scottsdale's signature natural asset a reality are legendary. But what you might not know about are his other civic leadership roles: local CB Battalion Commander, Sertoma President, host of international delegations, and mentor to many emerging leaders. Born in Newburgh, New York, and raised in the Peekskill area, Chet earned his civil engineering degree at Lehigh University. He was commissioned an ensign in the U.S. Navy and served in the Seabees, working on construction projects in Newfoundland, Spain, Boston, and Southern California. When he decided to transition to civilian life in 1957, he was hired as an engineer by Salt River Project. Chet started in SRP's power side of the company, but moved to the water side, where he spent most of his career until retiring in 1989. Chet enjoyed working in the field, where he met many farmers throughout the valley and worked with them on irrigation projects. He also continued as a CB, serving in the local Navy Reserve Unit, from which he retired as a commander in the 1980s. The Andrews first lived near Thomas and Scottsdale Roads, where they raised 3 boys and 2 girls. Chet got involved with the Scottsdale Sertoma Club and epitomized its motto, "Service to Mankind." As a member, officer, and many times president of the local chapter, Chet and his club worked with the Vista del Camino Food Bank and partnered with the Cub Pack 100 to put up American flags throughout Scottsdale on patriotic holidays. While at SRP and after retirement, he helped host international delegations who came to Arizona to learn more about irrigation and water issues. He also traveled to Timbuktu as part of a Tempe Sister Cities group, working there to improve the city's water system. Always an outdoor enthusiast, Chet trained as a volunteer at the Desert Botanical Garden and served on Scottsdale's Bike and Pedestrian Task Force. He journeyed to New Zealand to work with other volunteers and scientists who were measuring conditions for plant growth at a volcanic site. He joined the Phoenix Mountaineers and helped build trails at McDowell Mountain Regional Park. He often hiked in the McDowell Mountains with fellow mountaineer Pete Chazar, who introduced him to a newly established organization, the McDowell-Sonoran Land Trust, in 1991. Chet was elected to the Land Trust Board and by summer 1992 was elected as its second board chair. Chet and the other early members of the Land Trust shared a common dream: preserving as much of the McDowell Mountains and surrounding Sonoran Desert as possible before it was developed. They did their homework, traveling to other preserves and bringing in speakers from other land trusts. As Chet recalls, our concept of a land trust was different from those back east, where preserves were fenced, inaccessible, and policed. We wanted public access. Once they had a solid mission, Chet and other board members went about communicating the importance of creating a preserve in Scottsdale. First, they had to convince residents that the McDowells weren't saved by zoning. Then they had to further convince them that we needed to find a way to buy mountain land in order to create a preserve.
Hi, I'm Chet Andrews from the McDowell-Sonoran Land Trust. My friends and I have hiked in here today from about 4 miles southeast of here. And this is one of our favorite places to stop for lunch because it's so pleasant under the mesquite trees and with the shady brook behind here. Actually, we've come in to visit today with the Parks Department to see what they're planning to do with this area, because we're very interested in preserving the mountains and also making the mountains accessible to the public. And I know that the Scottsdale Parks Department has some very interesting plans.
Chet worked tirelessly to bring the idea of a preserve to the people. He conducted hikes for residents, officials, and the news media. He and others met with city staff and officials and attended city council meetings. He also invited a diverse group to join the Land Trust Board, many of whom, like archaeologist Greg Woodall, 8th grade student Kristen Jaski, and Carla, became preservation leaders in their own right. Chet and the Land Trust Board urged the city to create a commission to study the potential for a preserve, which it did in 1993. In November 1994, the city dedicated the first small land parcels to create the McDowell-Sonoran Preserve. In 1995, influenced by the Land Trust's many grassroots communication efforts, Scottsdale voters approved a modest sales tax increase to fund land purchases to expand the preserve. Once the McDowell-Sonoran Preserve began to expand, Chet and then Land Trust Administrator Carla began to plan how the group could help provide appropriate access to and care of the land. They created the Preserve Steward Program, and Chet took the lead in creating a training program held at Scottsdale Community College. The first class of stewards graduated in 1998. Since then, hundreds more have completed the program. With Chet as head steward, the Land Trust, now known as the McDowell-Sonoran Conservancy, provided a volunteer cadre to the city that saved money and protected this natural treasure. Chet and the stewards built trails, erected signs, conducted hikes, and helped ensure the preserve remained closed during 2 summers when fire danger was at its highest. Chet is a quiet, thoughtful, and humble leader who's dedicated to his family, his community, and his country. He is adamant about sharing the credit for any of the programs he's been involved in and shuns the limelight. Although he's now retired from active community life and devotes his time to his family, Chet Andrews remains a stalwart supporter of accomplishing what once was thought impossible, creating a 36,000-acre McDowell-Sonoran preserve. Thanks, Chet. We absolutely couldn't have done it without you.